Okay, so we are going to continue now with market targeting. So the idea here is to select the segments the company is going to target. And the first thing is to evaluate the different segments that have been found in the previous stage, the market segmentation. Typical criteria for evaluating segments are the segment size and growth, of course. So as bigger is the segment and higher is the growth rate, more attractive will be the segment. Also, we could study the segment structural attractiveness using a framework like the Porter model. You know that there are like different competitive forces, and some like segments of consumers can be more attractive than others depending on this. And it's also very important to consider the company objectives and resources. There should be a match between those objectives and resources, and also the characteristics of the company, sorry, of the market. So imagine that, I don't know, let's say there is a growing segment of high-income consumers who like expensive, recognized branded products. Maybe it's not interesting for us because we don't have a recognized brand or we don't have resources to create one. So typically there are like 4 different target marketing strategies: undifferentiated, differentiated, concentrated, and micro marketing. So the strategy of undifferentiated marketing consists on targeting the whole market with a single offer. This is sometimes called mass marketing and focuses on common needs rather than what is different between the segments. So graphically it will be something like this, okay? So we consider that all the buyers belong to the same segment, and then we have only one market offering or one marketing mix for all these segments. It would be something like this, the 4T. I don't know if you are aware of this model of car, but at the beginning of the previous century, Ford launched this model to the market, and the characteristic of this model was that all the cars were of one color, which was black. And then Henry Ford, the president of the company, said that any customer can have a 4T car painted any color that he wants, so long as it is black. So there were not different models, neither different colors. So that would be a single offering for the whole market. It's not easy to find companies or products or markets in which companies follow an undifferentiated marketing strategy. I don't know if you think of sugar or if you think of salt. Maybe you think that salt is salt and sugar is sugar, but it's not true. Because, for example, sugar comes in many different varieties, versions, or packages, as you can see here. Okay, and the same for salt. There are many different types of salt. And a company, for example, Sal Costa, has different offerings for different benefits, occasions. For, let's say, also individual consumers or restaurants, and also for a delicatessen or gourmet uses. The second targeting strategy is differentiated marketing, that consists on targeting different segments with different offerings. Typically, this strategy allows the company to achieve higher sales and a stronger position, but at the same time, the costs of developing such a strategy is higher. So this is typically done by large company with many resources. And we can find many examples of this marketing strategy. Graphically, it will be something like this. So the company finds 4 segments and decides to target, I mean, whether the 4 of them, so maybe 3 of them, but more than one with different offerings. 4 now has all these products targeting different segments, so it could clearly, it follows clearly a differentiated marketing strategy or targeting strategy. The third targeting strategy is concentrated marketing. The idea here is to target maybe just one small segment, even if the market is large. So this is good for small companies or companies that have limited resources. Typically, this is good also for companies who that have like a very good knowledge of the market and then can specialize sorry, on this segment, and then they can be like very efficient and effective in their marketing to these small segments. Sometimes this is called niche marketing, because when the small segment is like very specific and very small, sometimes this is called a niche. So the idea would be this. We only target one segment with a single offering. One example could be, I mean, the market for left-handed people. Okay, there are not many left-handed people, but there are, of course, and they need like products with special design. So there is this company targeting specifically the left-handed consumers with a high variety of products. Another example could be in the car market, I mean the brand Ferrari. So Ferrari targets a very specific segment, the ultra rich, and they are very good doing it. Then the fourth targeting strategy is micro-marketing, which is the idea of adapting the products and the marketing offering for the tastes of specific groups of individuals. Sorry. If it is based on geographics, it is called local marketing. If it is called on other like variables of individuals or even targeting individual consumers, this is called individual marketing. So local marketing would be, I mean, like targeting specific cities or neighborhoods or stores. And an example of a company doing this is Walmart, the supermarket chain that when opens a new store analyzes the neighborhood profile using, for example, the Prisma data, and then it adapts the design and the assortment of the store to this profile. So, for example, if the supermarket is near to office areas, they offer more ready-to-eat food, and also they offer that near the counters. An individual market consists on adapting, I mean, the offering to each individual consumer. It is also known as one-to-one marketing or mass customization or markets of one marketing. An example would be, I mean, the website of Nike, Nike ID, in which consumers can design their own sneakers. So at the end, each consumer has like a very specific sneaker adapted to her taste. A simple example would be a company offering personalized gifts, like for example, in a cup of tea, you can like have your own picture. Or other companies, like for example, Dell selling computers that gives you like a base option, and then you can personalize this option, like adding more memory or adding some features. Okay. Then when selecting a target market or choosing a target market, companies should use also like different criteria. Okay. Besides those one those ones we saw at the beginning, it should consider the company resources, if they are high or low. The product variability, some products are like easier to, for making versions. Also the market variability, how different are the segments in the market. The product life cycle stages, in the first stages of the product life cycle, typically companies target a fewer number of segments, and then when the market matures, in order to stay more in the market, they target like other additional segments. And it also should be taken into account the competitors' marketing strategies, because if, for example, your competitor follows a differentiated targeting strategy, following an undifferentiated strategy for you would be like, very hard. So as an activity for this is optional, you might do this. Imagine that you are working for a shoe designer who has just started her business. So try to suggest a way to segment the market for this new shoe designer. And then select a target market to go after, keeping in mind, all these criteria, like the segment size and growth, the structural attractiveness, and very special in this case, because it's a new small company, the company resources. Okay, and you can give your answers in this in Booklab. This is an example of how targeting strategies are not only in the marketing area. So we, 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, countries were very scared. They didn't have many tests for the COVID. So imagine that that it arrives like a ship with tests, or a truck with tests. Imagine with 1 million tests. So this is like having limited resources, and then you have to decide, who are you going to target? For example, are you going to use these 1 million tests for people over their 70s, or maybe you would give priority for health workers? So that would be also a targeting decision. And we are going to stop here by now.